Hey y'all, I hope you can hear me okay. I am coming to you today to talk about mental health because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I thought it would be fun just to play in some makeup. This is not a get ready with me video. I'm just playing. I repeat, this is not a makeup tutorial, so please do not judge me. All right, enjoy. Conversation flowing for me. So I'm just going to be playing in makeup. I do not know how to do makeup. Um, I can do the bare minimum, but I'm just going to try the best that I can, and we're going to get right into it, talking about mental health. Okay. Well, really, what I want to talk about is just some of the practical things that I've learned over the years as far as mental health and some of the steps I've taken to deal with anxiety and depression. Ooh, that was not the right color, but we'll go with it. So I'm going to be sharing that today. But before I get into my practical tips, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with depression and anxiety and how I got to the point where I'm unashamed of kind of, what I'm going through or what I'm experiencing as far as depression and anxiety, because people can make you feel shamed and make you feel that something is wrong with you. And I just had to learn to reach out to the right people and to seek professionals who, know that this is a real issue and I'm not just making it up or seeking attention. So I remember back, I can say that like since I was a kid, I struggled with just always feeling anxious and nervous. And I think it was because of just trauma and experiences and things that I had seen at a young age that maybe a kid wasn't supposed to see, such as like domestic violence and just a lot of fighting and arguing and even some drugs that I've really never talked about with anyone. But I have this one story where a family member of mine went on this like drug binge, and like I seen them smoking crack, and it was just like they were supposed to be babysitting me, but it turned into like something else. And I remember it was like I was the oldest kid, and I couldn't have been older than 8. I probably was younger than 8. And while they went in another room and smoked crack, they put me, the oldest kid, in the room with like all these kids that were like maybe 5 and under with me. And I was supposed to be like watching them. And I remember one baby just kept crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. And that was my first experience with anxiety. Like I just got so overwhelmed by everything I had seen that night. And I was just like, felt like this feeling of just like falling apart. So that would continue to happen over the years, whether I was in middle school, high school, just, in different areas of life. And then it really got to me when I was like going into adulthood. So I would say after graduating high school. And then I started to self-medicate. So I would do smoke weed, and I would use alcohol to kind of, like as a sedative, to kind of keep me feeling relaxed. And did that for about 3 years, but then that has its consequences as well, because I would do that, I would feel good for the moment, and then it would be like this huge like letdown. Like I would just be depressed, or I would be just in a really bad mood like the next day. And so once I came back home from college, I was out of town going to college, and or out of the state going to college. I decided, like, maybe God is trying to tell me something, which he was. But like maybe I just need to seek the Lord and get back into church and everything will be great. And so started going back to church, and that was good. It did definitely help, knowing the word of God and knowing how, spiritual warfare and how to deal with certain things. But I still noticed that I would feel very anxious and I would still get depressed. And so I confided in someone. This person happened to be a family member, and someone who was heavily involved in ministry. And so I thought that this would be a safe person to, confide in and tell about what I was struggling with. And here's the thing, even though they were saved and Christian and loved the Lord, everybody has their shortcomings, and they did not know much about mental health. And that's why it's important to seek out people who actually have experience with mental health, whether they be Christian or not, because what I was told was basically that I was lacking faith and that I wasn't trusting God. And I was made to feel as if I was seeking attention or I was not believing God. And it really hurt me really bad, really bad, to the point where I said I would never ever tell anybody about this again, because that person, like I said, was a family member and they were a trusted person, and they made me feel as though, I don't know, they just made me feel as though I was seeking attention, or like I was making it up in my head, or I don't know. It was just not a good, welcoming. They didn't make me feel understood. And so I shut down for a lot of years in regards to trying to speak to other believers in regards to my mental health. It just kind of kept it all inside. And but what I was doing as well is I would talk to my doctor. And that's kind of my first tip, is that if you are experiencing signs of mental illness, or you're struggling with your mental health, or just physically, whatever it may be, you need to do some research. We live in an age where you can Google just about everything. So I would say to first get online and to look up your symptoms or what you're feeling, and see what you find there. And then I would say do that first and then talk to your doctor, because you want to be able to really articulate what you're feeling to your doctor, so your doctor's visit is not a waste. So after you do your research, and let's say you find out you're dealing with anxiety, then you go to your doctor and you say, hey, I think what I'm experiencing is anxiety, but I'm not sure. But when I looked it up, I had a lot of symptoms that seem like it sounds like I may have anxiety. And I say do that because back when I was a teenager, I didn't know the word anxiety. I didn't have the wording for what I was feeling. I didn't know, I just thought I was a shy, awkward person who was a little weird. And what I was experiencing was anxiety and depression, which led to low self-esteem and low confidence. But you need to advocate for yourself first, then find other people who will advocate for you. So you do your research, you look up everything, and then you go to your doctor and say, hey, this is what I need you to help me with. And then if you have a good doctor, they're going to give you referrals to a therapist, a nutritionist, support group, whatever you may need, and they're going to work with you to make sure you get the help that you need. So that's what I did first, is that I just started looking, and that was in the early 2000s, so it's not like it is now with Google. But I just looked up stuff and, found information, and I started looking for groups. I spoke to my doctor, and my doctor recommended me to support groups. And what's crazy is that I was doing all of this secretly, because I was still having these negative feelings being a Christian. I was still kind of warring with it, like, but I'm supposed to be a Christian and everything is supposed to be perfect, and I'm not supposed to feel, depressed or sad. So I was kind of being like undercover with it. I didn't want nobody else to find out that I was doing this. So I was just strictly like working with my doctor and, acting like I didn't really have a problem outside of my doctor. And it was, what I bring that up because it made it hard for me to, I don't know, it just made it hard. Like, I still struggled with, like, if I was doing the right thing by seeking help outside the church. Like, I felt like, maybe I'm not trusting God if I'm seeking help outside of the church. And so I would like sign up for support groups, barely attend, or like fall off on counseling, things of that nature. So I was never consistent with it. And then, back then, especially like medicine. Oh, no. I was like, now that's of the devil. I'm not doing that. And so, even though I had all the symptoms that said I needed medicine, I was like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. And so I cried one time when a lady was like, one of my therapists, was like, I do recommend medication for you because you have all of the symptoms. You have, you would be a great candidate for this, and this is only going to help you, and she was like, just like, if you were sick, not sick, but if you were unhealthy in any other way, and I'm sorry, I don't know the right word, I don't want to say sickness or unhealthy, but if you were struggling in any other way, you would take medication for it, whether that be a cold, sinus infection, whatever, you're going to take medication. So why can't you take medication for this? And I just was like, nope. And I broke down and cried so bad. And she was just like, okay, well, we don't have to talk about this no more, but I'm hoping that one day you would consider it. And so just now, this year, I decided to take medication. And I still battle with it. I still struggle with it. I still sometimes don't take my medication like I should. But I'm getting better with it. And I'm realizing that I can still trust God and use the resources that He's provided through therapists and through medication. So I'm getting better. Not all the way where I need to be, but I am getting better as far as trusting God with that. Next thing, or next tip that I would give is to release your feelings. Spend some time in isolation, whether that be 10 minutes of isolation or a whole day of isolation. Just spend some time with yourself and having a quiet moment to feel your feelings. Now, as a Christian, I don't live off my feelings. I don't let my feelings dictate everything that I'm doing. But sometimes you need to feel your feelings, and you need to say, why am I feeling like this in this moment? Like, why am I feeling anxious? Why am I angry right now? Why am I depressed right now? Like, what happened? Because sometimes we're just so out of tune with the way that we're feeling, and we're just walking around like robots and not understanding that something is really happening or going on with us. So I would just say to spend some time. I know it's not my favorite thing to do, but I do it sometimes, and that is journaling. Just writing down everything that comes to mind. Just, and sometimes that helps me better understand, oh, I'm acting this way because of something that happened yesterday, or somebody said something to me and then it triggered me. It brought back a feeling of insecurity that I have, and I need to take that to the Lord in prayer. So, not saying to act out on those feelings, but you definitely need to question your feelings. Why am I feeling this way? And that's only going to come when you're by yourself, spending some time with yourself to figure out, why am I always so triggered? Why am I always so sad? Why am I always so depressed? And you really got to spend some time with you, which sometimes we don't like to do, and so we distract ourselves by spending a lot of time with other people so that we don't have to deal with our problems. But I'm telling you, this is the only way to resolve your problems, is by spending some time alone with yourself. So that's that. Next tip that I would give, and this one is going to sound a little weird, but it works, and it's a good thing to do. It's not a bad thing. I think in our society we've made it such a bad thing and such a weakness that a lot of people have a hard time with it, especially men. But crying, you need to cry. Like it's just like you laugh, just like you whatever else we do to express ourselves non-verbally. Well, I don't know. Is that nonverbal? Anyway, whatever you do to release certain or express yourself, you need to cry as well. Like, that's normal, and you're supposed to do it from time to time. The reason I say that you should cry is because it's a self-soothing mechanism. And it helps you to release what you're holding on to. And it actually detoxifies the body as well. So a lot of us trying to be so we try to be so gangster, like, nothing phases us. But you got to release that stuff, because that's how people start getting all those illnesses and start getting sick, because they're carrying stuff from 10, 20 years ago, and stuff they never dealt with, stuff they never released. And sometimes the only way to release it is to have a good cry. It's very therapeutic. And I'm going to actually put that in one of my videos that I didn't put on here. I'm just going to put a snippet in here of me releasing crying, because it actually made me feel better. So I'll put that in here. So yeah. And then the next thing that I would say to do, and this is a no-brainer, most of us already know this, is that we need to care for our bodies physically. We need to eat right. We need to diet and exercise. And this is my area of struggle right now. Like, I've been doing so bad with this, and I'm actually going to put a little footage about that in here as well. Hey y'all, so I just got home, and I'm pooped and tired, and just my reason for coming on today is I am starting my OMAD diet or lifestyle, hopefully, because I got on the scale a couple of days ago, and I was just so disappointed in myself. So I got to do something. So I will be documenting my journey as far as OMAD. Yeah, Just trying to get this weight down because I do not like being this size at all. So, like my failed attempts at fitness, but I'm trying, y'all. And one thing about me, I'm not going to ever give up in that area. I'm never going to just say, well, I guess I'm just meant to be overweight and unhealthy. Like, I'll never be that person. I will try every Monday until I succeed. I will restart, refocus every Monday until I get the results that I want. As you can see, I told y'all I don't know how to do makeup, so don't judge me. I'm just doing this for fun as I'm talking. But yeah, so diet and exercise, I'm not going to go too much into that, but you already know that what you put into you is going to fuel you or not fuel you. It's going to have an effect on your physicality, your mind, so mentally and emotionally what you eat. So if you're eating too much sugar, it's going to come out of you. It's going to increase your anxiety. That's something I got to work on because sugar just doesn't work for me at all, and I love it. So I got to work on that. And at least, you know, it doesn't have to be strenuous exercise, but at least taking a walk once a day or doing something just to get your members moving and get you to sweat a little bit, because you need to detoxify your body as well in that way. So yeah, my last tip, and this is something I am personally working on, is taking risk, not living life in a box. And so that's what this YouTube channel is about. It's not so much about being known or, you know, creating like this platform for myself. It's about just taking risk and doing something that I would never do. I'm a very shy person, introverted person, and this is not stuff I'll be doing. I don't be up on the YouTube, but I love YouTube, and I think it's just a creative way to express yourself, as I've said before. And so it's just something I'm doing for fun, to take a little risk. And so I encourage you guys as well to take some risk in life and do some things that, whether you're going to be judged for it or not, make you happy, as long as it won't send you to jail or get you in trouble with the law or with God. Go ahead and try it, you know. So I've signed up for this meetup group. I ain't went on no meetups, but at least I signed up. So I signed up, and hopefully I go on a meetup soon, just to socialize and to have some fun with people I don't know. That's a big deal for me, especially since I struggle with a little social anxiety. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about that more, just taking risks. Maybe share with y'all later in the year some risks that I took this year. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you. I don't want to make this video too long, but I ain't put on no eyeliner. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. This is Mental Health Month, and we should all be taking care of ourselves. 2020 was a lot, and it did a lot to us, to everybody, you know, not just people who regularly struggle with mental health, but everybody was affected in some way or another as far as their mental health, or most people, I guess I should say, were affected mentally and emotionally in 2020 and continuing. So, ooh, Lord, I just messed up for real. So this video is just to encourage you to take care of you and to get the help you need. So seek the help you need. Make sure you are being the best you, so that when you're around other people, they're seeing the best of you, and you're not I'm sorry, I can't talk and put on eyeliner at the same time, but you want to take care of you, because if you don't, nobody else will. And then also, if you're not taking care of you, you're not a joy to be around, because you are mentally, physically, emotionally unhealthy, and people see that, and they don't want to be around that. They don't want to deal with that. And so, it's like Tabitha Brown says, have a good day, but if you can't, you know what I'm saying, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's. And so we need to be the best possible person that we can be, so that we don't mess up other people's lives. All right, so make sure you're checking in with yourself. You're checking in on your emotions, on your mindset, and making sure that you're not just looking beautiful on the outside, but that you're beautiful in the inside. And I'm sorry, the last thing that I wanted to say, I am a Christian, and I do believe in God. And for my Christians, the most important thing we can do is place our hope and trust in God. But just know that you are not going against God by, like I said earlier, getting the resources that you need for your mental health. So you can trust God, you can believe God, and still go to the doctors, okay? You can still, because God is going to use that. He's going to use that person or that experience for his glory. So don't believe the lies that you can't love Jesus and seek the help you need from a trained professional who is a psychologist or a therapist or a counselor. That is a lie from the pits of hell. So get the help you need, and be free today. Be free to live according to the way that God wants you to live, by getting the help that you need. And you can't do that by going to an untrained professional. As well-meaning as your church leader may be or your pastor may be, if he doesn't have the credentials and he hasn't studied just like he studies the word, if he hasn't studied the mind and the soul and if he hasn't studied it, the way the brain works, he might unintentionally mislead you. And so get the help you need, okay? Be free today, be better today, okay? And sorry I rambled a little bit, but thank you for tuning in to my channel, Shania Kia. And if you enjoyed the content, please like, subscribe, and comment below on what you would like to see. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace.